Good morning. I'm Jaime Spencer, Executive Vice President for Local Media with Magid. I'm here today with Marissa Nelson, who runs our consulting team in the Local Media Group. We wanted to talk about change in local media organizations. We talk so much about this. It's about changing, evolving, innovating. But when you think about the local newsroom, when you think about the local content team, Marissa, what does that actually mean today?
Well, there's so many changes that are happening in terms of consumption patterns. The first thing I think people need to think about is the quantity of content they're producing. At the moment, it's a bit episodic. We think about the morning show, we think about the evening newscast, we think about the late night newscast. But really, consumption patterns are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now. We don't expect people's work patterns to go back to where they were pre-pandemic. So, the new day part is actually 24 hours, 7 days a week. And what we're doing with our clients is working with them to figure out new workflows that allow them to create content for OTT, digital, and linear that can actually, sustain an audience around the clock.
Absolutely. And that's about more than just kind of the traditional news content as well. There's a really broad array of things that consumers want and that local media organizations can produce. But, you're right. You talk about 24/7 delivering on OTT and your newscast and digital and social. Even if you can get the workflow right, how do you do that in a way that delivers any kind of quality to your audience, Marissa?
Oh, and it's hard, right? I mean, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in a local newsroom is really, really tough. And I think, I think quality is still a really important factor for our clients to think about. Local news is known for high quality, and that's what consumers want, and we certainly don't want to change that. What we're doing is we're helping clients focus on certain day parts that they really want to own. We've worked with a number of people, for instance, on their late night newscast to make those contextual. So what are the stories? How can we help people understand their day? And that will keep them up and watching your newscast. So I think really picking a focus that you can dive deep into things is still important.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you've got to monetize it all, right? It's still a business, and so if we can get clients, if we can see an organization that gets to a place that has the workflow figured out the right way, that is focusing on content that really drives brand value, creating all this different kinds of content actually creates more monetization opportunities. If we're creating local content that's not necessarily news, we can sponsor that content. We can look at non-traditional ad placements. But even if we get to that, at the end of the day, the thing that station or local media sales organizations are struggling with is telling the right story to clients to articulate the value of their audience. And that's one of the places we're spending a lot of time. How do you tell that story? How do you deliver a viable business reason for the conversation and prove to that advertiser that, hey, you're going to reach your audience if you come work with us. So lots to think about. I know, Marissa, you and your team are heavily focused on it. Appreciate you coming to talk to us today.